Okay, it's November 26, 2017. This is a look at an eBay optical water level detector. It's actually not a water level detector, it's a water detector. Um, this is what it looks like. It has a little prism sticking out of the sensor part, and I have a schematic. It's got an infrared LED that shines to a phototransistor, and in order for the infrared light to make it to the transistor, it has to be reflected off this little pyramid. And so right now it is not receiving anything. As you can see, I've got 5 volts plus 5 on the red, ground on the black, and with a couple of resistors as in the schematic. Current limiting resistor going to the LED, and then a pick-off resistor that's going to the meter. So let's see it work. I've got a little water in this cat food tin, and it's going to, as you can see on the schematic, when this transistor turns on, it's going to pull let's see, it's actually, I've said this backwards. Currently the light is making it to the transistor, so the transistor is pulling it up to 5 volts on this side. Then when we put it in water, it's going to be interrupted. The light is going to go out into the water rather than be reflected, and it's going to pull it down to ground. So we see 5 plus 5 when it's on, plus 5 minus the diode, the transistor drop, and it's going to pull to ground when we put water on it. So let's stick it in water. Here we go, down and up. A little bit of water on there. If I shake that off, there we go, back up to 5 and back in the water. Okay. So presumably this works with other liquids as well, alcohol, gasoline, and so on, but I don't know whether this prism will stand up. Let's test it with fingers. Let's just put my fingers on here, see whether my fingers absorb the light. So that doesn't absorb it. That doesn't absorb it. Let's try putting it on my hand. No. So the inside surface of this seems to need to be covered with a liquid in order for the light to escape the prism. It's a very simple sensor. These can be had for $2.50 $3 on eBay from Chinese sources or from Alibaba, similar prices. You can see them for probably about 5 times that price from branded sources or US sources. They appear to be identical, and then of course there are commercial versions that for much more I'm sure we can find. Let's try spraying some, let's try alcohol. So we've got some 99% isopropyl alcohol here, the good stuff, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to expose this to this alcohol without making too big of a mess. Let's try alcohol vapors to start with. It's not going to quite fit in there. There we go, made it. Gonna wiggle this, see if I can get it to go in. Contaminate my alcohol. That's not easy. Let's take this nut off. That's probably not a good idea. Let's pour some out into a little container. Let's use this. Here we go. I'm assuming this alcohol isn't going to cause any damage. Okay, here comes the alcohol. And sure enough, same way as water. See the, so it smells more exotic when you pour alcohol on it. And it evaporates right off. Got a nice mix there. Let's see what that does. Okay, this is an optical liquid detector from eBay, November 26, 2017.